You know what's crazy? Most B2B companies are leaving millions on the table because of one simple mistake in their sales framework. I'm talking about companies charging $5,000 for their services when they could be charging $50,000 and having clients thank them for it. I remember sitting in my office staring at our proposal template thinking we were charging premium prices until I discovered Alex Hormozi's framework. What he revealed completely changed how I thought about B2B sales in my business. Today I'm breaking down Hormozi's $100 million B2B sales framework, the exact system he used to scale multiple service businesses from charging industry standard rates to commanding premium prices that seemed impossible. By the end of this video, you'll know how to transform your B2B service into a high-ticket offer that sells itself, the exact framework for commanding premium prices in any B2B market, and how to implement this in your business, even if you're currently struggling to close deals at lower prices. Before we dive in, let me tell you why this is so important. Alex Hormozi started with nothing, literally couldn't give away free gym memberships. But what's fascinating isn't just that he built a successful gym, it's what happened when he applied these principles to B2B services. He took businesses that were struggling to charge market rates and transformed them into premium providers commanding top dollar in their industry. We're talking about companies that went from charging $2,000 a month to $20,000 a month and increased their close rates in the process. Now I know what you're thinking. That sounds great, but my industry is different. That's exactly what I thought too. But here's what's interesting. I've been in the B2B space for years, and what caught my attention wasn't just the numbers, but how consistently this framework works across different industries. I want you to think about it. In B2B, we're all dealing with longer sales cycles, multiple decision makers, higher transaction values, and also complex value propositions. And that's exactly why Hormozi's framework is so powerful. It addresses all these challenges head on. Let me show you how this works. I want you to think about the last time you pitched a high-value B2B client. What were they really buying? It wasn't just your service or product. They were buying an outcome. But here's where it gets interesting. I was working with a CTO at a mid-sized company last month. On paper, he was buying a software solution, but when I really dug deep, you know what he actually wanted? To be known as the innovator who transformed his company's tech stack. He wanted to be the hero who solved their efficiency problems. This is what Hormozi calls the dream outcome. And in B2B, it works on two levels. The company level, ROI, revenue, market share, and the personal level, which are career advancement, recognition, and looking like a hero. But here's where most B2B companies drop the ball. Having a great outcome isn't enough. Your prospect needs to believe they can actually achieve it. And in B2B, this is critical because your buyer isn't just risking money. They're risking their reputation and maybe even their job. Let me show you how Hormozi approaches this. He uses what he calls the trust triangle. First, you need what he calls proof of concept, case studies and testimonials from companies just like theirs. But not just any testimonials. You need specific numbers and specific results with specific timelines. Second, you need a clear path to success. And I'm talking about a detailed implementation plan that shows exactly how they'll get from A to Z. No vague promises, actual steps. And the third point in this triangle is the game changer. You need what Hormozi calls better than risk-free guarantee. I'll show you exactly how to create one of these later. But here's what makes this so powerful in B2B. When you combine these three elements, you're not just building confidence, you're eliminating the fear of failure. And in business to business, that fear is often the biggest obstacle to the sale. Now let me ask you something. Why do most B2B deals stall? It's time. The longer the delay between purchase and results, the harder the sale. And this is where Hormozi's third element comes in, and it's genius in its simplicity. Instead of promising everything at once, you break it down into 3 speeds. Look, within the first 30 days, you'll see a specific result. By day 90, your team will be at a specific outcome, and within 6 months, your entire operation will be transformed. See what we're doing here? We're not changing the timeline. We're just making the value visible faster. But here's the final piece that ties it all together. And this is where most B2B offers completely miss the mark. In business to business, every meeting costs money. Every delay has impact, every resource allocation needs justification. And that's why the last element is so powerful. It's about minimizing what Hormozi calls effort and sacrifice. Instead of requiring tons of internal resources, you provide We handle everything. Your team doesn't need to lift a finger. Our specialists take care of all the technical details. You get weekly updates without having to chase anyone. When you combine all four of these elements, you create what Hormozi calls an irresistible offer. But here's the best part. I'm about to show you exactly how to stack these elements in a way that lets you charge premium prices while making your competitors irrelevant. But first, I need you to forget everything you know about pricing, because what I'm about to share might seem counterintuitive at first. Let me ask you something. When you're creating a B2B proposal, where do you usually start? If you're like most people, you probably start with your services or solution, right? That's exactly where most companies go wrong. Instead, Hormozi teaches something brilliant. Start with problems, but not just any problems. Start with all the problems. Let me show you what I mean. Let's say you're selling a B2B software solution. Most companies would list maybe 3 or 4 obvious problems they solve. But watch what happens when we go deeper. Your prospects aren't just dealing with surface level stuff like inefficient processes or poor reporting. No, they're lying awake at night worried about, what if this implementation fails and I look horrible? How am I going to get my team to actually use this? What happens if we lose key data in the transition? How do I justify this to the board? Do you see what we're doing here? We're not just listing problems, we're tapping into their actual concerns, both spoken and unspoken. For every problem you identify, you need a specific, tangible solution. But, and this is crucial, not just any solution. Watch this transformation. Instead of saying we provide training, you say you get our proprietary 5-step implementation program that includes daily progress tracking that you can show your boss, weekly success calls to keep everyone accountable, and emergency response protocol for unexpected issues, and a dedicated success manager who knows your name, not just your account number. Do you see the difference? One is vague, and the other makes them think, wow, they really thought this through. But here's where the magic really happens. We're going to take all of these solutions and stack them in a way that creates what Hormozi calls multiplicative value. Think of it like building a house. You don't just throw all the materials in a pile, you stack them strategically. We start with the foundation, your core solution. This is where you address the immediate problems with a robust, reliable product or service that handles the urgent pain points. It's the bedrock of everything else you offer. On top of that, you build in speed amplifiers. These are designed to make the implementation process faster and more efficient, ensuring quick wins that excite your clients and build momentum for continued collaboration. Maybe it's an accelerated onboarding process or tools that boost productivity right out of the gate. The next layer is risk eliminators. This is crucial in reassuring your client that their investment is safeguarded. You need to introduce guarantees that demonstrate your confidence in delivering results and align your success with theirs. These could be tied to specific performance metrics or support clauses that mitigate any potential risks. Finally, think about future-proofing your offer. This means integrating elements that ensure long-term value, like ongoing support, updates, or strategic reviews, by creating a pathway for continued improvement and adaptation. You position your offer as a sustainable, evolving solution that grows with the client's needs. And here's the beauty of it. Each component doesn't just add value, it multiplies it. By making the layers work synergistically, you reframe your offer from a cost into an essential investment. This approach makes it feel not only logical, but necessary for the client to buy into what you're presenting. Now, this is where most people get nervous: pricing. But Hormozi has this brilliant concept called the power of 10x, and it completely changes the game. Let me show you how Hormozi's power of 10x works in real life. He says your price should be 1/10 of the value you provide. It sounds simple, right? But here's where most people mess up. They only count the obvious value. Let me show you what I mean. Imagine your solution helps a client save $50,000 in operational costs. Most will stop there and think, great, I can charge $5,000. But hold on, let's dig deeper. I want you to consider additional benefits like the one employee they no longer need to hire, saving $30,000. The compliance checks they now avoid, saving $10,000. The improved efficiency leading to one additional client per month, increasing revenue by $25,000. The reduction in errors, saving $5,000. When you accumulate all these aspects, That 50,000 in cost savings might actually equate to 120,000 in total value. This gives your offer a potential charge point of 12,000. And here's the really fascinating part. It's often easier to educate the client on this value and make the sale at this price. You might be thinking there's no way my clients would pay that much. But when you carefully stack value, something interesting happens. Your prospect stops comparing you to competitors, and instead they start comparing you to the cost of not solving their problem. And here's the magic. At a price that represents a fraction of the total accumulated value. It suddenly feels like a no-brainer to your customer. Now let me show you how to make this offer completely irresistible. Hormozi calls these conversion multipliers, and they're like rocket fuel for your offer. First up, guarantees. But not just any guarantee. In business to business, you need what Hormozi calls better than risk-free guarantee. Let me show you how this works. Instead of saying satisfaction guaranteed, you say if we don't deliver a specific result in a specific time frame, not only do you get your money back, but we'll also pay for a specific penalty. I know what you're thinking, isn't that risky? But here's what Hormozi discovered. The stronger your guarantee, the less likely people are to use it. And the reason why is because it shows you're confident in your ability to deliver. Now let's talk about scarcity, but not the fake limited time offer stuff. In business to business, you need what Hormozi calls logical scarcity. Here's how it works. We only take on 4 new clients per quarter because each client gets our dedicated implementation team. We're selective about who we work with because our reputation depends on your success. Do you see the difference? You're not just saying you're limited. You're explaining why in a way that adds value. Here's exactly what you need to do tomorrow to start implementing this in your business. First, grab a sheet of paper and write down everything, and I mean everything, you currently do for your clients. Even the stuff you think isn't worth mentioning. As Hormozi says, what's obvious to you is amazing to others. Then I want you to call your 3 best clients and ask them, what kept you awake at night before working with us? What other solutions did you try? Why did these solutions fail? This is gold for your value stack. But I want to warn you about 3 mistakes I see people make when they try to do this. Don't create fake scarcity. Your market will see right through it. Don't promise something that you can't deliver. Your guarantee must be real. And don't rush to market. Test your offer with a small group first. You now have the exact framework that's generated over 100 million in sales. But here's what Hormozi emphasizes. Knowledge without action is worthless. So let me give you 3 specific action steps based on what we just covered. The first step is the problem deep dive. I want you to get a piece of paper out right now, and I want you to map out your value drivers. Start with your dream outcome. And I mean the real outcome, not what you think you're selling. Remember what we talked about with the CTO example? That's the level of depth we're looking for. Then I want you to list every single problem you solve. But here's the key. Don't stop at the obvious ones. Go 3 levels deeper. And if you're thinking efficiency, go deeper. What does efficiency actually mean for your client? What happens when they don't have it? What keeps them awake at night? Next, look at your time delay. How long until your clients see results? Write down every milestone, every quick win, every major achievement point. Finally, I want you to map out all the points of effort and sacrifice. What are you asking your clients to do? What resources do they need? And what commitments are you requiring? The second step is value stack construction. I want you to take everything you just mapped out and start grouping your solutions by impact level. Remember that pyramid we talked about? That's your template. I want you to stack these solutions in a way where each one makes the other one more valuable. Think about what we discussed, how one solution can multiply the value of another. Maybe your implementation process makes your training more effective. Maybe your support system makes your technology more valuable. Then do your value calculation. Remember Hormozi's 10x principle? That's your guide for pricing. But don't just look at the obvious value. Add up all of the indirect benefits, all the problems avoided, and all the opportunities created. Step 3 is offer enhancement. And this is where you make your offer irresistible. Start with your guarantee. And remember, it needs to be better than just risk-free. What can you promise that shows absolute confidence in your ability to deliver? Look at your natural scarcity points. Don't make them up. Find the real ones. Why can you only take on a certain number of clients? Why do you need to limit availability? Make sure you can explain the logic behind each limitation. Then structure your speed to value timeline. Map out exactly when clients will see results. Day 1, week 1, month 1, be specific. And finally, gather your proof elements. Case studies, testimonials, data points, anything that shows you can deliver what you promise. Remember what Hormozi says: the person who can deliver the most value to the market wins. Today I've shown you exactly how to structure and communicate that value. If you found this valuable, you need to watch these 2 videos next. The first one is the real secret to B2B lead generation and B2B marketing, because a great offer needs qualified prospects, and how perfectionism is destroying your business, because implementation beats perfection every time. Thanks for watching, and let's make it happen.